Hello everybody and welcome to Lucky by Nature. I am Beastdaemon and thank you for hanging out with me today. Please show your amazing support by smashing the like button, and if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you can get your daily dose of Ark. Alright guys, so for this tip, this is mostly for solo players, because obviously if you have a larger tribes you can do a lot of different things with dinos to harvest crystal and other things like gems, obviously stone. But what I want to show you is a little trick that you can do if you are by yourself, and that is to collect crystal, and especially here in Aberration, because I have had a lot of people ask me about this, but I never got around to it. But what I'm going to show you here is basically what I would do if I was by myself. And many people may know this, but whenever you are on a dodeki and you go up to a stone or crystal, gems, anything like that, if you get really close to it like this and you jump off of it, it'll actually start harvesting whatever resource on its own. Now the dodeki obviously specializes in things like stone and crystal. But let's see over here, wood. As you can see, it doesn't attack the wood, because obviously there are other dinos that do that. So what I wanted to show you is if you have a Karkinos, and it doesn't matter what you have this guy set to. So this one is in neutral. It doesn't matter if it's passive or whatever. It'll still harvest whatever it is that you take it to. But if you have a Karkinos and you go ahead and grab that dodeki and just take it up to whatever it is you want to harvest, as you can see, it goes ham on these things. And it'll go up until it gets too full. So, and it won't take very long, actually. But the Dodecaris is one of the best dinos to collect crystal and obviously gems. Let me see if it's done. Yeah, it's done. So then you get off of it, you look in, you basically get rid of all the stone, because we don't need stone. At least not in this situation. If you were in any other map, you probably would. But it does pretty well with the other stuff. Let's go ahead and take this with us and put it into the Karkinos if we wanted to. But as you can see, this is the best way to do this. So as you can see, this Beaver is also capable of doing the same thing that the dodeki does, just with trees, obviously. And so now this is actually a nice way to get wood. But you won't be able to do this with a thorny, unfortunately. So if you are in Scorched Earth, you may want to go ahead and head over to another map and get yourself a beaver. And that'll make your life a lot easier. This is especially helpful in PvE. Because in PvP, I mean, if you are by yourself, more than likely you're not going to bother with getting a Karkinos or, making a big base, because obviously you'll be under attack quite often. You cannot do this with a Anki, unfortunately. I mean, that would have been fantastic if you could. But a Karkinos is still very important to do single runs for metal. Now for tip number 2. If you have a dino that is stuck like this guy here, more likely you won't be able to take it out with a whip or anything like that, because they're pretty stuck. I had it try to follow me, and that won't work either, so it won't be, it's just stuck. It won't come out on its own. So the best thing to do in this situation is you are going to have to use a wyvern. And in order to use a wyvern to get this guy unstuck, you're gonna have to unclaim this guy. Just make sure that nobody else is around when this is happening, because obviously you would end up losing a dino. So let's go ahead and put him. Go ahead and unclaim him, and you just walk up to it with your wyvern and just start flapping your wings, and there we go. One more should do it. I want it completely clear of this cliff here, and there you have it. So now you go right to it as quick as you can and claim him back up, so that way nobody else will steal him from you. And a lot of times you can just get somebody that just to come over and use that trick on your dino if it's stuck, or you can do that for other people. You don't necessarily have to unclaim your dino unless nobody else is helping you. In which case, then this is the option for you. This does work with gigas. I've gotten just about anything unstuck. Of course, obviously, you won't be able to do that to sea dinos, but I'm sure I'll figure something out with that. But let's move on. For pro tip number 3, I'm going to show you how I charge my batteries. And what I typically do is I collect these little bugs, these glow bugs, because I found that it's a lot faster to charge a lot of batteries than using the hyper whatever thing. But as you can see, you won't be able to get these in the air. They're just like the Morphodons, where you have to wait until they land. But you don't necessarily have to wait. All you really have to do is get yourself some bolas and bola one of these guys, and once it's down on the ground, then you can grapple it. And I'll show you here real quick. This little guy's going in circles. Oh, there we go. So now it's sitting on the ground, so now you can grapple it. And let's just go ahead and make our way back to our little house. I don't have a ramp here, so it might come off. Yep, it came off. But we'll do it again, and now we should be fine. And as you can see, I have a lot of captives over here. So let's get in and close the door real quick. And let's go ahead and release this guy. And I have about, what, 6 or so? So let's go ahead and start getting these guys. As you can see, I have a whole bunch in here that need to be charged up. Push them towards the corners, and I catch them there. But I don't know why they don't typically fly high once you have them captive like this, which is great for us. But I find that these guys do charge up a lot quicker than the hyper whatever you call it. And so here we go. But I think you get the idea. So that is pretty much it for this tip. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and throw another one in there. For pro tip number 4, instead of having your sea dinos following a passive sea dino, you might want to use a raft instead. So let's go ahead and whistle to follow this. As you can see, it's following the raft. And obviously, if you're on PvP, you want to have your raft all set up to kill anything and anyone that comes towards it. So basically, build a turret tower on it. And the reason I say to use a raft instead of a dino is because whenever I was in PvP, I would actually look and see which dino was the passive one, and that's what I would concentrate on until I killed it. And then I used to be just take all the dinos out to sea and get them killed with jellyfish and things like that. And that worked perfectly fine in both PvP and PvE. In fact, there was a certain tribe that I did that to, and I didn't really show that part of it, but I did show that I had gotten their squid and I believe it was a Mosa, which they were extremely powerful. But anyways, so that is definitely a option, is just to do that. But that's it for me, guys. So until next time, keep surviving.
My work saved the human race.